Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's Thursday morning, it's bright and early. First of all, if you guys could please smash that like button, I'd really appreciate it. If you guys could leave a comment down below, even better. Really helps the channel out, helps the video become more viewable to other non-subscribers, and helps more people find the channel to subscribe. So I really appreciate it, guys. It took me about an hour and 20 minutes to drive here today. Today it is snowing. Lots of fresh snowfall. I took my truck and I went back and forth a few times trying to make some pathways at least. I don't know about how deep it is, probably about 8 to 9 inches, anywhere to about a foot of snow in some areas on the drift area. So lots of snow. Saw a few accidents on the way here. Nothing too crazy, just people spinning off the road and stuff. So it's beautiful. I love it out here. Truck did amazing. I'm open today, as you can see. All my U-Hauls are covered in snow. I hope I don't have anything to rent out today because I don't want to go outside and hook up trailers. But anyways, I want to catch you guys up to speed a little bit on the 93 Honda Del Sol. Now, in 93, it was called a Honda Civic Del Sol. I think in about 94, maybe it was 95, I think they dropped the name Civic from it and actually just put it a Honda Del Sol as its own name. But originally it was a Honda Civic Del Sol. In Japan, it was the Honda CRX. And of course, there's different models like the S, SI, and the m-tek models as well. This is an SI, so it had factory rear disc brakes, it had power steering, air conditioning was an option. All Del Sols came from the factory in Japan with no AC, and if you wanted AC in the States, when you ordered your car, you actually ordered it specifically with AC, and the dealership itself inside the States would install the AC system after the car was received. So this was a non-AC model. They didn't add the AC. I do have an AC system I could add on here, but I don't think I'm going to. As far as the engine so far, I don't know what we're gonna do, but we are gonna probably try to find like either a single cam m-tek, or man, it would really be nice to find a B16 swap for this thing, but a D16 Z6 would be ideal to keep it as OEM as possible. You can see that it wasn't a front-end collision. It was actually in 2 front-end collisions, and when I got it, it was really bad shape. As you can see, the hood, somebody sadly took primer spray paint and spray painted over the Samba green, probably because the first accident they had a mismatched panels. But if you look at the rest of the car, it is really straight. So it's really sad that they sprayed over the Samba green. So the door jambs are still green, so we are going to save those. We will probably have to refinish the body side of the door jamb because I do want to come in and fix and do some repairs where it cracks, usually on these Del Sols. So I do want to do some repairs there. It probably had some paintless dent removal at some point here, and somebody put a plug there. So they like to drill holes in the jambs of your cars. So keep that in mind, guys, when you do paintless dent removal. It's a lot cheaper, but they do drill holes inside your car a lot of times in the door jambs, so they can stick long rods down the body and use the rods to remove the dent. So if stuff like this doesn't bother you, don't worry about it, but I would rather actually do a full paint repair than have a hole in my door jamb. So when we're in here fixing up these cracks on the B pillar where the striker is, I'm gonna go ahead and weld that up, fix this little ding. We're gonna refinish this part of the jamb. I'll probably do a melt at some point in here, or it is a little rusty there, so we might end up just refinishing the whole body side. The door side I would like to save. I don't want to go through the paint at all on there. Target top seals are in good shape. It does have aftermarket taillights. I do have a parts car out back, so fortunately it has no lights either, but I have a new rear bumper because somebody did cut the exhaust opening on this. So Really straight car. Actually, there's another plug there, so disregard what I said about the PDR. I guess that's a factory plug. So we'll be popping that out when we paint, but same thing, it's cracked. I'd like to try to save this, but I doubt being so close, I'm gonna have to weld, it's gonna get melted. So we'll probably end up having to remove that. If I can find a decal and get one printed and made up, I'm gonna get a replica to stick here when I'm done. I think we can save these and probably save that as well. So I don't want to remove this at all. I might remove that and get a new one. But inside the gas door, same thing. It's still in pretty good shape, so I'm going to try to see if I can get away with masking that off. I might refinish this just because the gas door is pretty easy to do. But we are going to come in and clean off this spray paint, and we're going to refinish this part of the jam. And this thing was an automatic chassis. I would like to do a manual conversion. I'm going to probably get some EG Civic pedals and get rid of the automatic shift linkage, of course, get some manual shift linkage. I'd like to find a manual cluster. If anybody has a manual cluster out there, get at me. I'd love to swap someone out if they need an auto, or purchase that off of them. But this is an automatic cluster. I would love to get a manual cluster, and then I want to get the decal insert from oldsouls.com in Samba green, because we are going to be refinishing this car in the original Samba green. I know a good upholstery guy. I'm going to have him fix up the seats. And somebody did put a new carpet kit in here. They just spray glued over the original carpet, so I don't know if I'm going to keep it in there. I mean, it looks good, but you can see some spots of imperfection, but it is clean, so that's great. But I might just try to clean up what they did and just make it better, and probably call it good. Overall, the interior is intact. I do have the bezel that goes here, plus I have a parts car out back. I do need a glove box, unfortunately. The 93 glove box was broken. We have a good rocker. I have a good rocker for the other side out back. I still need a, let's see here. I have the left-hand fender. I still need a right-hand fender. I do have a hood coming. It's used. It's in pretty rough shape, but I think I can fix it. It's not too much of a hassle to fix it. So this car does have 243,000 miles on it. Pretty high mileage, but it's not going to matter because we are restoring the vehicle. It is lowered on some KYB struts and some eBay coilovers, it looks like. So we'll be probably getting some H&R lowering springs for this vehicle. I do want it to be lowered, but I'd like to keep it fairly mild if I can. I don't want the ride to be too rough, so I'm going for a slightly lowered look, but still relatively stock driving. So anyways, we have the core support removed. They just had it tech screwed on there. So I am going to be, you can see I've already kind of been working with some body hammers. I didn't mangle this, somebody else drilled, and Dolo's drilling, so it's a little bit mangled, but savable. It had some kinks all the way back here from the impacts. It was kinked here. You can see I did some body hammer and dolly work. This copper coating you see, that is weld through primer. That way when we butt up the core support, you can actually see that it is, that it'll be protected. So it's a copper coating, protect it from water and condensation so it doesn't rust out, but also conducts electricity so you can weld. So it was all grinded clean, hammer and dolly. Our flanges are nice and flat. I'm working this side the same way. Unfortunately, this one's a little more mangled. It's got a little bit of a dent here. I'd like to see if I can't get that out. I don't believe that's supposed to be there. We're a little mangled here. I did separate the two spot welds here. I pulled this back. I still need to do a little more work to get that to come out. I'm gonna do some heating and see if I can't get that to come out a little more. It is already in place, it would work, but I wanna see if I can make it better. Here is our core support. Now, since it was already wrecked, somebody grabbed this and put it on. They mangled it when they went to put it on. They only screwed it in with a few check screws and a couple bolts. And unfortunately, because of that, when they got in the other impact, it just tweaked and completely mangled this core support. Now, originally I thought it was toast, but after about an hour to 2 hours of hammer and dolly work and straightening and bending, I think we got it to be pretty darn good. Now, I don't actually want to weld this on until I have the hood and bumper in hand. So I did order a brand new bumper cover, repop of course, and I got a factory OEM hood coming. So when we get the hood, we'll do some body work to it and get it straight. We'll get it on. We'll get the OEM bumper cover up. I want to do some test fitting. I do have a left-hand fender. We're still needing a right-hand fender, but before I weld, I would really like to see this car kind of mocked up. But pretty much metal, steel does have a memory, so it does go back into place. You can see Honda actually puts some alignment holes here for the bolts. So you can actually, that's where your front fender bolt goes through. So you can kind of see about where it goes. There's not much to it, guys. Same thing with here. Gotta do a little stretching and pulling, but once it's in place, then you can kind of get it fitted, and we'll get it tech screwed in nice and tight. We'll probably use some bolts for the front bumper rebar to bolt in. I will have to weld in a nut cert on this side, and so we have something to bolt the rebar to. But you can see that we have some separation here, so we'll actually have to weld this core support together a little better before we actually even mount it on the car. So by the time we get this core support welded up, and then the new hood and new bumper should be here, then we can actually get this thing fitted and actually get it to fit tight. We'll test fit the bumper, the hood, and make sure that everything's lining up before we weld. So you can see right there, guys, it's gonna look like a car again. Just took a little bit of love and dedication. I see right past all this primer. So as soon as this core support is welded in, I'm going to refinish, remove all the lines and the brake lines and the wiring harness, fuse boxes, brake booster, all that stuff. And I'm gonna refinish this entire engine compartment Samba green. I also took out wheel liners and pressure washed the entire vehicle. I'm gonna pick up some U-Pole Raptor liner in a spray can, and I'm gonna be recoating the wheel wells of the vehicle. So it'll have some nice fresh Raptor liner in the wheel wells, and then we'll insert some new wheel liners. The new hood is missing the decal. It does have all this stuff, but it is missing the decal on the new hood. So I actually ordered from Resto Tuner. I got a new replacement underhood decal for the 93 Del Sol. I also have a new OEM Honda made in Japan decal that will go here on the core support after painted. So I'm really trying to keep this thing relatively stock. I don't care about the air conditioning because this model was ordered without the AC, so we won't be putting any AC. I want to put a block off cover here. I have a splash shield in good shape, so we do need two good wheel liners. I'll probably just do aftermarket. They fit relatively okay. I did them on the EG or the EJ1 Coupe. For the most part, they fit pretty good. This one doesn't look as good because it's an aftermarket fender, which I regret. But overall, it looks pretty good for being an aftermarket wheel liner, and does its job. So I did have this Del Sol to compare it to. So here is my Lamborghini Lime Green Del Sol, and I'm also waiting to hear back from oldsouls.com. The owner's reaching out to see if he can get the gauge insert overlay in more of a lime green versus the Samba green. Now if I can't, I might settle for a red one because red wouldn't look too bad on this car. But this isn't a OEM paint. This isn't a custom car. It's Lamborghini lime green paint. We got a Mugen wing. I custom fabricated these F1 style fenders. I repaired a wrecked Subaru Impreza about 1.5 years ago, and I went ahead and actually about 2 years ago now, and I went ahead and did I cut the hood scoop out of it, and I inserted and welded in the hood scoop. So I do need to refinish this hood at some point. I got a little crack on it. So at some point when I'm doing something black, I'll go ahead and do a repair on this hood. But I do have this core support for measurement reasons. I got a new decal coming there for the Samba green car. This engine compartment was redone in a satin black finish, as well as the door jambs, because we did do a custom color on this car and it cut down a lot of time and cost on the job. So I really love the contrast personally. Now this core support, this car was wrecked as well. This car looked just about as rough as that one, if not worse, when I got it. So have faith, guys, that if you have something like that, it can easily look like something like this with a little bit of time, effort, and dedication. You just got to pick away at it, block out some time during your week, you know, an hour a night, you know, 3 hours a week every other night, something like that, and that'll help get the job done. So I do have this core support to go off of. I did replace this one off, so I have a parts car out back that I have a cut core support off of that I did use to repair this car. But everything lines up really good on this car. It is a repop bumper. Everything's OEM, so I do have some measurements. I could snap some measurements to some holes and make sure that this one's gonna look in the same spot for that one. So get excited, guys. Really pumped. I ordered a repop bumper again, resto tuner, underhood decal. I ordered some OEM made in Japan decals for the core support, and we'll be getting this welded on. We'll get some Samba green paint. We'll get the engine bay torn down, prepped, refinished, all in Samba green, including the core support and bumper rebar. We'll refinish the front wheel wells with Raptor liner and probably the rear at the same time. And then we'll get the car assembled, because we'll be jamming the fenders and the underhood at the same time as well. And we'll get the car assembled, and it will just be an exterior restoration needing to be done. After that, we'll probably refinish a set of brand new brake calipers for the front and rear, some slotted drilled rotors, new pads. We'll go ahead and kind of get it all ready. We'll get the interior fixed up, and then we'll figure out a motor, and then if not, we'll probably sell it without a motor. So we'll see. I don't know. What do you guys want to see? Leave down in the comments. If you guys got any ideas. I do want to keep it pretty OEM as possible. It is a Samba green car. It's pretty desirable. So if you guys are wondering what kind of primer I use for the weld through, it's made by U-Pull. This is a weld through primer. It's copper coating, so it does protect from water. It's a good barrier, so it doesn't rust out, but also copper conducts electricity, so you can weld through and penetrate. So anyways, get excited, guys. I'm really pumped to be doing this. I know some of you guys are here just for the Del Sol content and for the Honda content particularly. We do a lot of Honda stuff here. We also do lots of repairs for customer cars, daily driven cars, trucks, diesels. We do repairs on minivans, you name it. We do a little bit of everything, but we also got some love for Honda. So these cars are getting harder and harder to find, and their value is going up and up and up. So I do want to do a pretty clean OEM restoration on this, and nothing too crazy. I might leave it up to the next owner, because I don't feel like I need another Del Sol. I have my custom inside the booth. I also have a right-hand drive turbo V16 EJ1 coupe that I right-hand drive converted back in 2011. It's custom, obviously. B16 swapped from a 2000 Civic Si. Turbocharged with the GT35 turbo. We also put a wet nitrous system on it. It's a little dusty and dirty, guys. This one's actually done. All new brakes, new everything, new paint. We're just awaiting to get the rear windows installed. And as soon as that happens, we'll be fully detailing it and getting it back on the street this next spring. This is my buddy's Integra Type R right-hand drive conversion. Now, it's not in the true Type R. It is a tribute. So it's a combination of a few cars. We just refinished it in Milano red, right-hand drive converted. Factory Milano red. We are wet sanding and buffing it, so it is fully refinished. Working away around it today. I'm hoping to have it finished up by tomorrow. Under hood, we got a RSX Type S engine with a 6-speed transmission. as well as the J-Spec nose. Now you can see here we were able to mask off and keep the JDM Japanese decals on the core support, the Type R VIN tag, everything. So get excited. This is almost done. We're gonna do posters of this and this as well. So get excited. Get at me if you guys want some merch. Contact me at nitroautolab@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, our website, nitroautolab.com. Get at me, guys, if you guys want some merch. I really appreciate the support of the movement here. Get excited about the Del Sol content. We're gonna have lots more Honda content coming at you this next spring. We're gonna be doing videos, tuning videos, street tuning, polls, lots of car runs, stuff like that. But right now we're just kind of picking away at this. We're just focusing right now on the under hood to make it a car again and get everything under the hood done. And anyways, like this video, leave a comment down below, please. I don't care what it is, just leave a comment, I don't care. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you on the next one. Rah!
Ooh, like LeBron though, or like Lonzo. Ooh, I'm a baller, yeah, shot caller, yeah. They love me, you can't touch me, nah, can't trust me. I'm too lucky. Look at me, look at you, what you see, what you do.